There comes a moment in every marriage, a quiet moment, when two people who once stood face to face in awe of each other suddenly realize they are speaking different emotional languages. Not because love has faded, not because commitment has weakened, but because the deeper rhythms of the heart, the unspoken ways we give and receive affection, are not the same. And that difference can feel confusing, even lonely, even unfair. But it is also one of the greatest opportunities for growth a relationship will ever encounter. Today, I want to talk to you about understanding the differences between men and women in how they express and interpret love. Not as a list of stereotypes, but as a compassionate journey into the real, lived experiences of married couples around the world. A journey that asks one powerful question. If the person you love is speaking, touching, giving, expressing, sacrificing for you, but doing it in a way you don't naturally translate, is it possible you've been loved more than you realized? Think about that for a moment. Let it sink in slowly, like water finding the cracks in dry ground. So many couples who feel disconnected are not lacking love. They are lacking understanding. And understanding is something you can build, foster, strengthen, and choose. It isn't a personality trait. It's an act of intention. When we talk about love languages, we're talking about the ways people naturally show affection. Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. But there's something powerful that often gets overlooked. Men and women frequently lean on different expressions not because they want to, but because emotional wiring, cultural shaping, and personal experience have pushed them towards certain forms of love. In many marriages, a husband might show love through doing, fixing the car, taking care of bills, solving problems. He may not always say, "I love you," out loud, but in his mind, he's saying it every time he handles something that makes your life easier, safer, or more comfortable. To him, love is expressed in action. And many women, on the other hand, give love through connection. Through words, through attention, through noticing the emotional details that shape the day. They often speak love through presence, through listening, through sharing the inner world. Neither of these is right or wrong. Neither is superior or more meaningful. They are simply two currents flowing from the same river. But when a husband is speaking through action and a wife is speaking through emotion, you will often hear the quiet cry that echoes across countless homes. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel understood. I don't feel loved. And yet, both people are trying. Both people are giving. Both people are reaching. They're just reaching in different directions. Understanding this difference does not mean agreeing with everything your partner does. It doesn't mean accepting hurtful behavior. But it does mean taking a brave step. Choosing to see the love behind the actions, even when those actions don't match your expectations. Because expectations can be prisons. But understanding can set a marriage free. Let's explore something important here. Men often connect love with responsibility. Women often connect love with emotional availability. So a man might think, "I'm providing, I'm helping, I'm doing everything I can. Why doesn't she feel loved?" And a woman might think, "I'm talking, I'm sharing, I'm being open. Why doesn't he connect with me?" This is where many couples begin to drift. Not because of conflict, but because of misaligned emotional translations. A wife might long for her husband to say something heartfelt, and she waits. Not realizing that in his world, cleaning the garage, repairing the sink, or driving her safely through traffic is his way of saying what he cannot easily form into words. A husband might long for admiration, for acknowledgement, for appreciation. Not realizing that in her world, emotional connection is the greatest expression of partnership she can offer. So the marriage becomes two people holding cups they keep trying to fill, but pouring water into each other's hands instead. Yet here is the miracle of love languages. They can be learned. They can be practiced. They can be shared. You do not have to love in the same way to love deeply. You simply have to choose to speak in a way your partner can hear. Imagine what could shift in your marriage if you began to truly see each other. Not just the surface expressions. Not just the frustrated moments. But the intentions behind the actions. Imagine replacing the words, "Why don't you love me this way?" with, "Help me understand how you show love." Imagine replacing, "You never do this," with, "I would feel more connected if." Imagine replacing silence with curiosity. And frustration with compassion. This is the bridge. This is where the breakthrough begins. Let's go deeper. Many men grow up with the message: be strong, be steady, don't show too much emotion, solve problems, protect, provide. So when they love someone, their instinct is to demonstrate it through effort, through loyalty, through sacrifice. They might not say the right words. They might not express the tenderness they feel. But they will show up. They will stand beside you. They will do the things that feel like love in their inner world. Women, however, often grow up learning to navigate emotional landscapes. They are encouraged to express feelings, to create connection, to nurture relationships. So when they love, they often do it through attention, through affection, through emotional presence. Both are beautiful. Both are valid. Both have the power to transform a marriage. But when these expressions collide rather than intertwine, the relationship can feel off balance. A husband may feel like he's climbing mountains to show love, while a wife feels starved for words or intimacy. A wife may feel like she's pouring her heart out, while a husband feels overwhelmed or misunderstood. Yet neither is wrong. They are simply different. In marriage, a lasting, thriving marriage requires the bravery to cross the emotional distance between those differences. It requires choosing to learn each other again and again, through the different seasons of life. Because love languages shift, needs evolve, circumstances change. The way you loved each other as newlyweds is not the same way you will need to love each other after children, after career changes, after loss, after stress, after the quiet years, or the stormy ones. That's the beauty of a lifelong partnership. You don't marry a finished version of someone. You marry a growing human being. And you learn each other 1,000 times along the way. So ask yourself, what does my partner reach for when they're trying to show love? What comes naturally to them? Where do they place their emotional energy, even if they don't speak it out loud? You may find that the person you married has been loving you in their language. Waiting for you to hear it. Waiting for you to notice. Waiting for you to understand. And of course, this goes both ways. Both partners must stretch. Both must learn. Both must give in ways that don't always feel instinctive. Love is not measured by how comfortable it is. Love is measured by how willing you are to step beyond comfort. To serve the heart of someone who does not see the world exactly the way you do. If your spouse speaks love through acts of service, try offering help, support, or effort in a way that matters to them. Show them that you see their work, and that you're willing to share the load. If your spouse speaks love through words, take a moment to express appreciation, admiration, or kindness. Not because you feel pressured, but because their heart hears affection through language. If your spouse speaks love through quality time, put the phone away. Sit with them. Be fully present. Not just physically, but emotionally. If your spouse speaks love through gifts, don't think of it as materialism. Think of it as symbolism. A reminder that you were on their mind. A reminder that they matter enough to be considered even in small moments. If your spouse speaks love through physical touch, offer closeness. A hand on the shoulder. A hug. A moment of connection that says, without words, I'm here. None of this diminishes who you are. It expands who you can become. Marriage is not two perfect people meeting in harmony. Marriage is two imperfect people learning to love each other with intention, with awareness, with dedication. It's a lifelong classroom. And the most important lesson is this. Love is not what you feel. Love is what you practice. When you understand your partner's love language, you are not just improving communication. You are honoring the unique emotional blueprint they carry. You are acknowledging the humanity behind their actions. You are choosing connection over assumption, compassion over frustration, partnership over distance, and perhaps most importantly, you are choosing to see the love that has always been there. Even when you didn't fully recognize its shape. If you are listening to this and thinking, but what about me? Who will speak my language? Remember this. When one partner starts loving with intention, the other partner often softens. Begins to open. Begins to reciprocate. Love teaches love. It doesn't always happen instantly. It doesn't always happen easily. But it happens, one meaningful gesture at a time. A marriage built on mutual understanding is not free from conflict. But conflict becomes smoother. Misunderstandings become gentler. Arguments become opportunities, not threats. Because when you understand the language your partner speaks, you no longer assume the worst. You no longer feel unloved during difficult moments. You no longer misinterpret silence, or stress, or effort. Instead, You see the person behind the behavior. You recognize the love behind the expression. You notice the commitment behind the attempt. This is where marriage becomes not just a relationship, but a partnership. Not just a connection, but a covenant. Not just a home, but a sanctuary. So today, I want to leave you with this. Your partner may not speak love the way you do. They may not express it in the form you expect. But they may be loving you in the deepest way they understand. Listen to them, learn them, study their heart, and let them study yours. Because a marriage where two people feel seen, heard, and understood, becomes unbreakable. It becomes the kind of love that grows through storms. The kind of love that matures through seasons. The kind of love that does not fade with time, but strengthens because of time. The only question that remains is this: are you willing to learn the language of the person you promised your life to? If the answer is yes, if you're willing to listen, to observe, to stretch, to speak differently when needed, then your marriage has the power not just to survive, but to flourish. Because love is not about sameness. Love is about understanding, and understanding is the beginning of everything. Let this be the moment you decide to see your partner with fresh eyes. Let this be the moment you choose connection over confusion. Let this be the moment you begin again, with intention, with clarity, with compassion, and may your marriage grow richer, deeper, and more beautiful. Not because you speak the same love language, but because you choose to learn each other's. Always remember this: the way you love your partner may not be the way they feel loved. But when you take the time to discover what their heart recognizes as affection, you unlock a version of your marriage that feels like grace. A version that feels like healing. A version that feels like home. Let this be your beginning, your turning point, your reminder that love is not limited by differences, but elevated by them. And may you walk forward together. Not perfectly, but purposefully. Because that is what real love requires.